Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Welcome to another Friday night bee chat. And hello there. Well, we got Keith in here and Mike, and we got Pastor Larry, and we got Randy. Hey there, Todd. Hey, it's Randy Clan and all that. I'm gonna go ahead here and hey, there's Daisy B, honey. I have not seen you, Steve, for I don't know how long. You've been traveling. You've been a world traveler all over the place. Seen some really great looking pictures that you put up on the Facebook and all. So let me go ahead and get the YouTube side up and running here. I don't know why it hasn't showed up. It usually takes a half an hour for something to show up for some reason. And I think I got it now. And it's pinned to the top. Hey, Brad. So, hope everybody's doing well with the bees. I know I have. I took and vaporized my hives. Let's see, Saturday afternoon. Hey, Billy Lee. Hey, Lisa. And so there comes Bill. Hey, Bill. So anyway, did that. Checked them Sunday, and Mike counts as far as the drops go on the chloroplast was most of them 0 to 5, and a few 5 to 10 mites, which is still great. And Todd just did another 35 grams of Vapor Guard. Of course, he's out in California. So, as far as mite counts, is looking good for me. Hey there, Southern Maryland beekeeper. What's happening? Good to see you again. And last year I had 5 hives that had more mites you could shake a stick at. And so anyway, this year is much better. Of course, I used Vapor Guard instead of Vapor Bar early on, which I think was a huge difference. All that. So let's see, I'm kind of running through some papers here. Hey, Eddie. Yeah, we got. All right. Todd got some honey from Matt and Alicia. So that's what's happened in my neck of the woods. I do have insulation on top of my hives right now. Kind of set up for the condensing hive, I guess you would call it. And I got it that. And got that out of the way. Got the first treatment out of the way from OA. I'll be doing another one here on the 15th of the month and the 29th of the month. That's about every 2 weeks. And if the weather's permitted, as far as having 45-degree days when I do that. And then next week, we're supposed to get fairly cold, not close to freezing, I'll say. And I don't know whether I'll get into the hives. I won't be getting into them until vaporization on the 15th again. And keep the mite loads down low. They're low now as far as I'm concerned. Worked out great. And all that. Bill there, he's hungry. He's got supper in front of him there.
It's supper time.
Yeah, like me, I was running late tonight. I had one of our beekeepers in the club passed away, and I went down to that at 6 o'clock this evening. And
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Who was it?
his name was John Kovac. He was only 67 years old. I think he had some leukemia problems years ago.
Yeah.
Got over it, and then it kind of come back with a vengeance. I think this very nice guy. Hey, Junior, my hives are put to bed until March.
Bubba, come on. Oh, fixing out.
Well, Junior, as long as you got insulation up on top and your walls are not, your top should be insulated more than what your walls are. So the moisture can condense on the side walls and not condense up on the, let's say, the inner cover up top. The insulation will keep the inner cover warm, and it'll make basically a heat dome up there. And that's the way I got mine. There's no insulation up there, or no venting up there. I have an 1.5 inch insulation. The inner cover hole in the middle, I block that with a piece of 3/8 wood that I made. They usually seal that up with propolis. It's stuck on there. And then I have my coroplast, which is your plastic cardboard underneath the screen bottom. And then they have the 4-inch reducer out the front. And that's it. You should be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't forget what Mike's saying either. Tip it forward a quarter bubble on the level.
Depends on whether you have a screen bottom board.
That's true.
Because the moisture is going to go down and out, or and all that kind of stuff. Where are you located at, Junior? I thought I had you on my thing. Hey, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
Hey, Sarah. So anyway, I wouldn't have a problem, as far as, condensing hive and insulation on top. As long as you got the insulation on top, that's the main thing. New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you up there around the Pine Barrens? Upstate or south? Hey there.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Yeah, Uncle, if you're up around the Pine Barrens, there's Jack, I think it is, up there. He's a pollinator in the area. He's pretty much got his bees all put away. He might be a good guy to hook up with.
Yep.
If we're close by. Central New Jersey. You're close to the Pine. I think you're close to the Pine Barrens, I think. or you're close to Kevin England. He's kind of thinking the north part of it. Hey, Darren. Good to see you. I think we're only going to get into the 40s during the daytime, Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. They're calling for snow in the Allegheny Mountains Sunday night into Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday, the highs will be 46 and the lows will be 29. And that's basically Monday and Tuesday for sure.
Yep. And I got to go to Philadelphia Monday.
Yeah, and by the way, you can put a package of Super DFM in your
Yeah.
truck.
I got it back.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Didn't like it, or how did they know what's inside the box?
Busted it.
Again? They can't figure out.
Again. Yep.
What the heck's wrong? Is it the same company or
No, this was a post office. They busted it.
seems like everybody's
It's getting so you can't ship anything anymore and expect it to get there.
yeah.
I give up. I ordered Hive Live syrup the other day so I could have a little bit to go to Nobby with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a mess when it got there.
What the additive, Hive Alive syrup additive, or the
No. The
baggy things?
yeah.
What
It
are
was
they?
a mess.
Huh?
It was a mess.
Seems like everything's going to pot here lately.
Yep.
I thought it maybe got misplaced and got on an airplane and crashed. Hey, Joseph. I don't know.
If I ship something out UPS, it goes to around the Richmond area somewhere to be processed, and then it goes out. Hey, Clay. I saw your text that you got home all right. How many straps did you lose on the way home?
What do you do? Buy some Pro Sweet?
Yeah. He bought a 55-gallon drum.
Hey, Dinah.
Hi, Donna.
Yeah, Dinah, she's been working on her bees and got some help in and winterized them all. So anyway, I was pleased with the amount of oh, you're not late, Roger. You're good. Thank you, Uncle.
Coffee and chips.
Yeah, no, it's a Diet Coke and chips.
Clay didn't lose any straps. That's a good thing.
Hey there, JW.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, JW?
But anyway, that's aggravating about shipping.
Oh, tell me about it.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, Mark. Talking about selling honey, Mark. I today was a good big honey sale day for me. So I got done this evening, and actually, somebody came after I got off from work and came and got 4 pounds of honey. So with that, X those 4 pounds of honey, the week sales, I sold 51 pounds of honey this week.
Wow.
That's pretty darn good for people coming to see you, and you don't go to a show or anything. At
Yeah.
least I feel about it that way.
I'm gonna bring you a bottle of honey too.
Uh,
When I
that's
come.
interesting, Diana. Orange blossom, go back to the lanternfly. They say it's better than Manuka, that's for sure.
Yeah.
James says still no tablets.
Yeah. UPS won't ship them, James.
Well, how do they know they're in there anyway?
They can smell them.
Uh,
I don't know if it's the 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 processing center that's cracking down on everybody, because I'm not the only one that's had issues shipping stuff. The co-ops had some issues shipping stuff, or if it's UPS nationwide cracking down on stuff. But if they smell something odd, they won't ship it. They'll refuse it right there on the spot.
Appy tablets, Ryder. Hey, Alicia. Our what is it? Habanero. Okay, honey.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got the darn aircraft, here Thanksgiving's coming up and you're going to sound like to me, they're going to shut the darn airplanes down.
Yeah, 4% of flights per day until they get to 10.
You got a case of them.
Well, that just shows me that it's a local processing center.
Why did it crash? The engine fell off. That's why.
Fell off going down the runway.
Yep.
Caught fire and fell off going down the runway.
And then I understand there's an engine in the tail, and then there's one off on the right hand side. And I think that they're saying that maybe the tail motor was not doing well either.
They smell like highly concentrated diamol, is what they smell like.
But
yeah, I've been having this problem ever since that bag of stuff that I sent out came back busted through UPS.
yeah, the DFM.
Yep. That's when it started.
blacklisted you, Brent says.
They may have.
Probably put a red flag on you.
They may have. But they told me, they said, if you want to ship those thymol tablets, you got to ship them hazardous materials.
Of course, that costs more money, I guess.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Todd says they flagged your shipping address and he knows somebody at UPS.
Yep. I'm sure they did. Odell Smith, what's for dinner? Oh, he's asking Todd.
Mm.
Problem is, got to go from the same address, Brent. That's the issue.
So was the box this last time tore up, or was it somebody opened it up?
They opened it.
And the contents wasn't busted, right?
Yeah, it was busted open.
Yeah, but the evidence of what I'm getting at is, did they purposely open up the content bag?
No, they didn't open up the content bag. Evidently, when it went through the machine crushed the box and popped the bag. And stuff must have went everywhere.
They're put up on top of the frames, Uncle or Junior. They emit gases, and the bees are supposed to eat them.
No, it doesn't have my logo on it, but it's got my address on it. It's required to have your address.
So what
So
are they?
if something happens to the box or package, they know where to send it back to. I've already asked for that, Brent.
Yeah. So what did they? What did the Postal Service say of them?
They told me. They said the machine crushed it. It popped the bag, and powder went everywhere. And then they wanted to know what the powder was.
Read the bag.
That's what I told them. Read the bag. So.
Mm. I don't know. It's getting worse by the day.
Yep. Well, I know that if you ship one lithium battery, they put a sticker on there, hazardous material, and all this other stuff. You ship a lithium battery. Fire hazard, all that crap. So you can't send anything anywhere.
Yeah.
I wonder if they mistook amino for ammonia.
I don't know. I don't know. Anybody want to come in? The things up there pinned up.
Yep. Come on in here.
Come on in, talk some bees or whatever. But like I say, I'm happy with my mite load right now.
Yep.
Hey there, Michael. Oh, Michael, I got that Appam, or what is it? Yeah, Appamay hive. It is a queen making hive. It's got 4 compartments, no frames.
Yeah, I got frames that'll fit it. Yeah, we were in our bees last weekend and pulled all the feeders. And
Going to be 80 degrees out there in Arkansas. Gee.
yeah, we reduced them down. And we pulled, I don't know, 6 supers off of hives that had too many. So they didn't fill out. So we pulled them off, and all our bees are ready for bed.
What kind of frames you got?
I got the ones to fit that 4-way.
Are they Michaels or something else?
Yeah, they're 21st bee. I mean, they're good frame, good looking frames.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't had time. I got to get down there and clean that thing up and make sure it's working right first. See, it's decent. What would be a good thing to clean propolis and all that off of there with? Any type of, like, I don't know, washing, some type of, like, I guess, well, what's it called? Washing soda and water? That's supposed to cut grease. I think that's at baking, or not baking soda, washing soda. Alcohol.
How much did you find, Clay? Ethanol.
I'll try that, Michael. Where are you at now, Michael? Are you out at the house or are you on another show? I go out. It's still Monday. This is Friday.
Yeah.
You got a show, Mike?
Yeah, you're right, Bill. It is.
Hey, Barnhill. Yeah. Just Keith. Going to Waco, huh? All right, Roger. We'll catch you later.
Everclear works for almost anything. Yeah, it does. You're right. It does work for almost everything.
I got some of that too.
Yeah.
That's illegal in Maryland, but I got some. Here comes Dave, other Maryland beekeeper.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Same old. Figured I'd finally hop in here.
So how's the bees down your way?
I got them all wrapped up. I bought some of them. What is it? The maybe hive wraps or whatever. I put them on there. 9 of the hives look good. 1 of them doesn't look good. I'm debating whether to merge that with something or set it on top of another one.
Yeah. Does it weak and got a queen or what?
Yeah, it's got a queen. Last week when I went to do my last liquid feeding, I saw her in there. They had about 4 frames of bees in comparison to all the other ones. All the other ones were kind of overflowing. The numbers of her hive was astronomically low, and they barely touched the sugar water that I gave them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, if you got a double screen board or something like that, you could put it up on top like in a nuke. It might help, but I don't know whether or not. I don't know, Bill. What do you think? Pinch a queen and be done with it, or?
Yeah, most likely. How old is the queen?
This year.
This year?
Mm-hmm.
When did she get mated?
Probably before April, because she was one of my original queens that I got in a package.
Yeah, I would pinch her and just combine those bees with another hive.
Right. Yeah, I was debating this being my first year, just letting her go and see what happens. It was either let her go or see what happens, or just set her hive on another hive and just let's see what happens.
Yeah, if you just let her go and don't do anything with her, they're going to die.
Right.
I would just pinch her and combine them with another hive is what I would do.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll get something out of them. That's kind of what I did with the ones I had.
Then next spring you can split and put a new queen with them.
Right.
Jack, are you there?
Yeah, I'm trying to activate my camera.
Okay.
Yeah, stand by. Sorry.
All right. That's cool. But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I had a couple hives that
there we go. I had it covered.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
I
There we go.
combined a couple hives into one.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, I seen the videos today where what was it you were doing? I think you're picking up bees or whatever, moving them back home.
Yeah, I was pulling my outyard bees from the farm back home, so I can keep a closer look over the winter time. So I don't have to drive 45 minutes away. Check on my bees. I drive 10 minutes away.
Yeah, that's the way to go. So did you do well pollinating and all? Everything good?
You know what? I think Charlie, it was a bad winter. It was a really light honey year, I think.
It was a lot of rain.
It was too much rain in the springtime, right? And I mean, nature did its job, and she produced flowers, but the bees couldn't fly because there was too much rain.
Yeah, it's just here it rained and then it dried up, and then the hay crop, or just my son's hay crop, wasn't all that great because we didn't spread the water across a long period of time.
Yeah. You know what? It's kind of crazy, right? Because I talked to the farmers, and usually more water is more better, right? For farm crops, but that's not necessarily true. They would rather regulate the water and have the water accumulate in their ponds so they can spread the water out. Because a lot of the crops, if there's too much rain in the low areas, the crops rot.
Yeah, because you're in that sandy ground up there. It's flat.
It's all sand, yes.
And the fields will pan water.
Correct. Yep, yeah. So if there's any low lying areas, the water sets there, and if you have 3 days of rain, I mean you could have 5 inches of water, right? And all those crops, they turn to mold, and it ruins everything. So the farmers don't like all that water either. And I always thought like farmers, they love water, right? but they don't necessarily.
Well, you got to, spread it over a long period of time.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't like a lot of water really fast.
So, how many hives you up to now, Jack?
Oh my God, Charlie, I think I'm going into winter with, I think 30, which is less than, way, way, way less than I really would like to. But, you know what? If I come out of winter with 30, which I don't think, I mean, I'm counting on losing a couple, but in the springtime, the rebound is usually kind of crazy, right? So if I go into winter with 30, I lose 5%, 25, and then rebound, and I want to be around 50. 50 is my comfort zone.
Mm.
I think
Is
that's
that what
what
you had to? Is that what you had to do with, as far as doing pollination services?
I need 20 for the spring. Yeah, 20, absolutely for my one apple pollination contract. Yeah,
Well, you got yourself a hive lifter and
yeah.
all that. Did you like it after you got it?
You know what? Yeah, I followed you for a long time, Charlie, and you're the one that turned me on to that. So after I saw you like disassemble it, or I'm sorry, assemble it and arrive it from Boris, I talked to Boris directly,
Mm-hmm.
and I molded over for like 3 months, just like you did. And I finally pulled the trigger. I'm like, you know what? And I'm so glad I did. That hive lifter is awesome.
Yep. I know that you were trying to pull or raise two-way pallets for that thing. I don't know whether it's quite stout enough to do
It
that.
can't. It cannot. You know what? I abandoned my hive pallets. I'm not doing that anymore. I got away from the two-way hive.
Well, you got to step up to skid steers and flatbed trucks and stuff like that if you're going to do that kind of stuff.
Exactly. You need to. Yeah, you need to buy the truck. You need to buy. You need to buy like an Ian. Like one of those hive lifters that Ian has, and
Yeah.
An easy lift that goes out and it's articulated, and
Yeah. It's either that or a Hummer-Bee.
yeah, or a Hummer Bee.
You really got to get into some heavy, serious equipment, and
Yeah.
you got to be, you'll need 200 hives and be able to move them around.
I'm nowhere near that. No. So Charlie, did you see the same thing? Like this year was like, it wasn't really a good honey year for us on the East Coast.
I was down 150 pounds at least, and I was surprised I made 850 some pounds, and I was surprised I did that good. Well, as much problems I had still had. Last couple of years have been queen issues, and I got a handle on what I want to do with those queen issues and how I want to attack the problem. So hopefully from this coming spring forward, I have a little bit more of a stability within the hive community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I sat there for at least a year or two, but Todd, I finally, a few people got them. First, I seen Mike Barry got him, and I picked his brain over it, and then what's his name out there in Kentucky or Nashville, I guess it is.
Nathan
Duck River, he got one.
Yep.
And I picked his brain on that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it was Nobby 2 years ago, where it's at now. And the first year it came there, I seen Mike again, and we talked about it and what I was trying to do with it and all that stuff. And he said it'll work fine for what you're doing. And then I seen Joey's got the other model, and he made a comment on Mr. Ed's channel how he had to be in the back of it, not in the front of it. And that was a key issue for me. And so that's when I went ahead and pulled the trigger. After I talked to Mike out there in Nobby, I called up or emailed and told him what I wanted, and I asked um, uh,
Boris. Right?
Brad
Oh,
from
Brad.
Faith Apiaries a little some.
Yep.
Well, I was it Brad? No, I guess um, it was James out there. He had
Yes,
one, and
James.
I
Yep.
talked to him about it, and
Yes.
we were talking about wheel widths and stuff like that. And once I got all
Yep.
these different things in, that's when I pulled the trigger and got it, and I've loved it ever since.
Oh my God. This is, you know what? I bought it in the springtime, I think. And it is paid for itself 3 times over already with moving hives.
It just takes it right out of your back, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so easy. The only thing that I had to do was I had to adjust the arms
Oh yeah.
because they come standard, but not every box is exactly right. And I had some of those Hoover Hive boxes, and the handles they're not deep enough, so they get scratched up. So I had to adjust it a little bit like that. But I made a little tick marks on the where the arms got to go, and it's oh my God, I love it.
And the big thing I did was is as those arms can slide in and on that bar, and there's a hole there.
Yep.
It's got the wing nuts, but the darn wing nuts will move out on you. And
Yes.
I had one. I finally stopped one day and got the drill out. I drilled a hole down the top and in the bottom, made sure that thing were tight where I wanted them, and then I put a pin in there. And then I came back the second time around and got another one and put a pin in, and I got those arms pinned in place because I don't need to move them.
Yeah.
And because I've had them where they slipped out just a little bit, and then flappers come out of them handles, and there goes my side boxes sideways.
Yeah, but I would if anybody is on the fence about buying a hive lifter, I would say spend the extra money and get that B3 lifter
Oh yeah.
versus the B2.
Now, I'm not mistaken, but I was on the Facebook page here for Nobby, and I think Boris is coming to the Nobby.
Oh, really? Oh man, nice.
He said by the 25th, he had a little sale going on there, I think is what it was. And if I'm not mistaken, about coming to Nobby and all. Like really.
He should. You know what I mean? Because you know what, I don't know how many people know about his hive lifter, except us in the bee community. Because I talked to friends of mine, and they're like, "What do you mean? What's a hive lifter? What are you talking about? What's a hive lifter?" But so only us know about it.
Is that right? Yeah, I seen it. He said something about I'm trying to search it right now.
The same thing with the with the OA vaporizer. You know, the battery one. A lot of my friends too. They're like, "What are you talking about? There's a battery OA vaporizer."
Here it is.
And I'm like, "What are you in the dark? Like, where are you at?"
We're down in Virginia. Bill will tell you all about it. How dark they are down there. It says designed for. It says Boris Finlander. 7% discount before December the 15th.
So
Save up to $180 USD.
I
Limited
actually
quantities will also be available for pickup at Nobby and all that. So I
contacted him, right? And I was talking to him, Charlie, right? So he's got another one that's not released yet. It's a
really?
It's a tri-wheel. It's a 3-wheeler one. That he sent videos on it. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about it, but yeah.
Yeah, Uncle, I don't know. The B3, I don't know, it was $1,650 when I bought it.
Yeah, you know what? I think it was like 1,800, but when I got it to my door, and
Yeah, it's probably what, $250 shipping, wasn't it?
I think it was like 250, 300, yeah, something like that. But you know what? I don't care. It was worth every penny. The 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 ease that it is to move hives is unbelievable.
I don't know, Darren. I don't move highs, but I sure do pick up a lot of boxes. And I can, and the thing with me is I can pick up, um, let's say 3 honey supers, get into the brood chamber if I need to be. Those 300 supers have bees in them, and the bees are like a unit, and they don't know that they've been moved except where they split the two boxes,
No.
and they kind of stay up in there and by themselves without having bees up in the air. And then you can get in the bottom box and do what you need to get done and put your queen excluder back on. And then you can, once you get the hang of it, you can lay that box right down there just as easy. And
Yeah.
all that stuff.
And you know what, Charlie? It's really not for everybody. And the guys in the comments, they're right. They're right. It's not for everybody. If you move bees, it's worth it. If you don't move bees, it's not worth it. If you move a couple hives, it's not worth it.
If you lift a lot of boxes, it's worth it. I don't move bees, but I lift a lot of boxes.
Yeah, and if you look, you know what is a really big advantage about that is in June when you want to harvest and you want to put the bee escapes on. That's, I think, the most advantage of it.
Well, for me, I'm doing the demery, so I'm going downstairs pulling out brood. So I'm lifting up all the stuff above it. I'm not
Okay.
individually pulling boxes off and getting them bees all up in the air and upset.
Yeah,
I'm lifting those 3 boxes or 2 boxes up as a unit.
Yep.
It's a world of difference about working bees that way for sure.
yeah, and I'm in the business of I move my bees constantly, so from yard to yard to yard. So for me, it's absolutely a great investment, but it's not for everybody. You're right. You're the guys in the comments. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. So Dave, what do you got the week hive and all that? Anything else happening? And what kind of, did you get any honey production this year?
No, I let them keep it all. I wasn't planning on taking anything because I don't want to have my father's curse because he had honeybees too, and overwintering was always his nemesis. And I wanted to make sure they had everything that they made this year. And
yeah, but sometimes that ain't enough.
yeah, I've been feeding them sugar water 1-to-1. I don't know how long. What, 3 months now?
Yep.
What are you drawing wax and stuff?
When I made my splits back in June, because I raised queens this year. I did grafting and all that, and I was able to. That's an art. I went.
Yeah, I did queens this year. Went down to Bill's there, learned how to set up a good cell builder. Now my downfall was all right. Well, since we're talking about queens, what did you do about mating, getting them mated? How did you do your mating?
So I have about 40 of those styrofoam mini mating nooks,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
okay.
I have 20 of them painted up and ready, and then so I grafted 45 cells because that's how many was on each bar, and 16 took, 11 hatched, 1 hatched in the middle of the night and died because I couldn't get to it in time. I learned.
Now, are you in an incubator or what?
Yeah, I pulled them out afterwards and I put them in an incubator, and then
You're kind of doing like I'm doing.
I do the
10
same.
live, and I put them all out in the mini mating nooks. 1 died right off the bat. I left them in there for 3 days. I took a couple bees out of all the other hives. I left them in there for 3 days, and then I popped them open. And 1 completely absconded, and the queen was dead in the bottom. I was like, all right, well, that sucks. So I ended up with 6 by the time I was finished that got mated. So I made a bunch of splits with those, and then I was feeding them sugar water for the past 3 months, and they drew out a whole top box of comb in other parts because I gave them brand new foundation, and they filled them top boxes out fast and filled them up. So hopefully that's enough to get them through the winter. I still got Hive Alive patties and stuff I can give them for when it gets
Now,
later.
Doug, I like what Doug says, and I say exactly the same thing. Doug's up here in Canada, and how much is a back worth? And lifter is pretty cheap, and that's right. And I'll tell you something. I've been down with my back. I don't care how much money you got. You know, there's a lot of folks out there. I'm going to get a back operation. I said I ain't never seen one yet. It really worked 100%.
Yeah,
Not
really.
Not one.
Yep.
And let me tell you, it's like I got those hives right there. I got 18 production hives, or at least I try to keep up 18 of them up and running. And I'm thinking to myself, if you go down there and you do half of them in a day, you move 4 or 5 boxes per hive. That's a lot of weight and a lot of hives and stuff. I'll be back here in a minute.
Yeah, you know what, guys, like you'd be surprised. It doesn't feel like a lot of lifting while you're doing it. When you go to bed and wake up tomorrow morning, oh my God.
And you can't get up.
Yep. You got to roll over sideways to get out of bed.
Yep.
I had a hive shift over. I have my hives on top of the was it the Apame bottoms?
Yeah.
And it wasn't screwed down because I originally thought that screwing them down to the bottoms was cool. Like that was it keeps them snug. And then I was like, wow, if I want to switch this bottom to a top or switch the boxes, I got to completely take the hive and put it on its side and unscrew the thing. So I was like, that's not happening. Well, It was on a slight incline. And I went out there, and the hive from the heat just shifted the whole box over off of the Apame bottom. I was like, yo. So I went to pick that whole thing up. Hives, I did not realize how heavy hives can get. And that was a double deep. And I was like, well, you start stacking more on top of this thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I broke my back lifting that whole box of everything just to set it back.
Yeah.
And what lesson did you learn from that?
Yeah, make sure everything's level and take one box at a time.
Exactly. You
Hey,
you start trying to lift hives, unless you've got something to lift it. You could be talking about 300-400 pounds.
Yeah. I was not expecting how heavy those things were. And it wasn't even like I lifted it high. It was just enough to get it to shift.
Yep.
So Dave, where are you at? And I say SOMB. What was that?
Southern Maryland.
Southern Maryland. Okay, all right. So I'm in Jersey. We're close.
Mm-hmm.
Do you run Apames?
Not the hives. Those things are way too expensive. And
Okay.
I see the benefits of them. What everybody says they're really good, but I really like the bottoms.
So you run wooden hives with Apame bottoms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many hives are you running?
I have 10 now.
Okay. All right.
This is my first year as a beekeeper by myself.
Oh, is this your first winter?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome, man. How do you feel going into winter?
A bit nervous. Because the upfront
We all
cost of
get
beekeeping,
nervous.
yeah, the upfront cost of beekeeping is pretty hefty, and it sucks when you start throwing out $200-$300 bills just because it's cold outside.
I always tell people it's $1,000 to get into beekeeping.
I splurged a little bit. I'm a little heavier, or a lot more north than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, and that's for like 2 hives, $1,000. So, did you start off with 10 hives?
No, I started with 4.
Okay, 4, and you graduated, like, or you multiplied, unbeknownst to yourself, and then 10 hives going into winter.
Yep. So my first split was an accidental split. I don't even say it was accidental. I just got in the hive and I was doing an inspection and I saw a queen in there that wasn't marked. I marked all my queens when I got them.
Yes.
And I was like, what is that? I was like, I got another queen in here. Then I found a queen cell that was tucked in a corner the box, and I was like, okay. So I just went ahead and took one of my inner covers and made it a double screen.
Yeah.
Cut the box in half, put one queen in the top, one in the bottom,
Good.
and that's how I ended up with 5. And then I caught another queen cell that I knew it was way too late, and I didn't want to kill her in another hive. So I was like, all right, I'll just double screen this one and then just take that queen cell over. And then she hatched out. She went and got mated, and then that's when I got into the queen grafting.
And you're already incubating?
Yeah, I tried that.
Man, holy shit, man! You're like you're pretty advanced already.
I took to the grafting thing. I definitely am going to be trying that like full steam next year, depending on however many hives I have. I'm hoping to come out with at least half what I got.
Yeah, I bought that Beaver reptile incubator.
Mhm.
That thing works awesome, and I you got one right there.
One second.
I do probably like 50 queens a season. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, I'm back.
Dave just went to get us. He's going to show us his incubator.
Yeah, I got the Hova baiter. The Hova
No,
baiter.
it's probably the same thing. Oh, okay. All right. That's the chicken incubator.
Yeah, the chicken incubator.
Yeah, I got that one too. I used that for a while, and then I went to the Viva one. I still have that one. It still works great.
Yeah, so that one I think I originally sold it on Cayman Rentals, but then I saw Bob Benny had it too. So I was like, all right. I mean, and Bob Benny, I think it was Bob Benny. He said he's had it because he takes care of his stuff because they all stay in the back of his trailers.
Yeah.
So they never come out and get damaged, but it seems to be a pretty sturdy incubator for styrofoam.
Yeah. You know what? I use that one and it works awesome. It absolutely works.
Yep,
Hey,
so-
Sandy, Lynn. I usually I just convert my the freezer part of the refrigerator into an incubator. But I had the same problems you had, Dave, where the queen would hatch out and then she'd starve because she hatched out at 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Mhm.
So what I did this year was, and I had good result. I was doing 2 bars, which is 15 on a bar. So I'd get 28 out of 30 cells capped. Then I'd take them out of the cell builder, put them in the incubator, put them in them easy peasy cages, and not Jay-Z Beezy, but easy peasy. And I had Dave on here that, was the inventor of them, and put them in the incubator to about a day and a half to 2 days, let's say 2 days prior to hatch. And then I would take them cells, and then Easy Peasy has that banking bar for those cages. And I'd take those cages on that bar, put them back into the cell builder. And when they would hatch out, the queens would be fed right away by those bees.
Yeah.
And that also gave you a little more leeway time-wise. And then 7 days it takes for the queen to be mature before she's able to mate. And but my next downfall was getting 2 frame mating boxes populated, keeping them populated.
Yep.
At a real good population, and then trying to introduce her to that hive is an issue, it seems to be for me.
And you know what's crazy, Charlie? Right? And Dave, you agree with this because we're all in the same area. The time frame that we have to do that is in the spring when they're building up, right? So you got to sacrifice colonies to make queens and make a mating nuke box. And then after you get those queens mated, right? All right, so first of all, you're incubating them. Well, you're hatching them, and they're getting hatched. They're feeding them, right? So you got a bar of 20 queens, right? You have 20 boxes to put them in. of drawn comb and ready resources. That's a problem, right? Because it's so early in the spring. So you kind of got to decide, all right, I'm going to make this yard my my new resource yard, which I'm going to grow new bees with, opposed to your production hive yard. And it gets very overwhelming very quickly because it's very easy to produce queens, but you have to have availability for those queens, right? Does that
Well,
make
if I got mated queens, I can sell them like hotcakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wish
so-
I wish
Once,
I had that
once
resource.
they find out that you have queens, it spreads like wildfire.
You
and
see that
all
all
that.
through the Facebook groups that people are looking for queens and all that.
Well,
Some
all you got to
people
do is a local club. Once you get in your local club,
Is,
they will-
is that because people don't know how to make? Well, I'm not going to say nothing. Never mind. Not everybody knows how to do this, right?
I think it's about emergency situations when they accidentally smushed their queen, they lost their queen or something, and they don't have
Yeah.
time to get one. And if somebody's already got some ready to go,
Yeah.
most of them want them early spring, and it's
But-
like, guys, you can't do that where we live.
But those queens that you're selling, are they laying? Or have they been laying for 2 weeks? Are they 21-day queens? Or they're like, oh, they're hatched queens, virgins.
Well, I've sold virgins last year, and then you have a problem of you got to tell them how to get a virgin mated. So
Yeah,
the
so
only thing they've ever been taught is to buy mated queens. That's
So
the
you're
only
selling? Are you selling virgin queens? Or are you selling 1 week mated queens? Or are you
thing.
selling
No,
7
last
days?
year I was
14?
selling virgin. I was selling virgins.
Oh, that's easy to sell.
But next year I want to be able to be more proficient in getting them all mated.
Yeah, but I mean, if even if you're going to sell mated queens, are you going to sell them 14 days, 21 days, or? But you need somewhere to bank those queens. They need to be laying somewhere.
Well, my hives are full size frame hives. My mating boxes, they'll hold two full size mating frames.
Yeah.
So they can go for a couple weeks.
Yeah, and you need brood factories for that. Yeah, so somebody's over there, Red Creek.
But that's another thing. Like me and Mark Miller are in here talking.
Yeah.
We were
And Dave,
talking about, you can either put a queen cell in that mating box, which I've had good success in years past.
yeah,
Trying to get those, with like you were saying, you got to go and rob some from your production hives.
Yep.
Especially in the springtime, get some nice cat brood that's just about ready to hatch or it's starting to merge.
Yep.
Put that into those 2-frame mating boxes. Get those mating boxes established. What I had thought about doing is if I got a 24 queen and I want to put a new 26 queen in or something like that, if I can pull her out with a couple frames of a frame of brood and whatever and food, put them in the mating box, and they will either make their own queen or you can put a mated queen in there if you bought one.
it gets very overwhelming very quickly if you're successful.
Well, that's why I got rid of selling nukes. I like fooling with queens.
Yeah.
And you got to tweak it to where you, like this year, I learned to give myself more time through the newer caging system, making sure the bees are hatched inside the
Yep.
bee box. It's all these little nuances that add up to success.
Absolutely.
And I got it to where, Bill showed me the right amount of bees in that bee box and to maintain that. So now I have a success of 28 out of 30 grafts. I already knew how to graft, but I just needed a box that could, do the
You
job
need a
right.
box to hold that population.
But
Yeah.
you need a box of bees to be able to draw themselves out.
Yeah. Hey, Dave.
And then I figured out with these easy peasy how to get them through go through the incubator process, either have mating boxes waiting for them cells that are ready to hatch, or you put them inside the cell builder in a cage, let them hatch out naturally.
Yeah.
Because they're going to stay in that other hive if they hatch out of their own cells for 7 days, and then they're going to go out and get mated and come back. So you got 2 weeks, 2 weeks right there. You got a month in that cage, in that one box.
Dave, did you say that you use the mini mating nukes, the styrofoam ones?
Yep. I got
Yeah.
I got 40 of those. 20 of those are ready to go.
I've used those too, and I've had very much success with them. So much success that I don't know what to do with them after the queen is mated, she comes back, she's laying it all up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what do I do with her? Where do I go? Right?
Yeah.
That's the problem I ran into.
Do you get it to the point where they laid up them little 2 or 3 of them little frames?
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, now you got to pull her.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you got to pull her someplace.
And so Charlie, right? Check this out, right? So after you do that, right, you put in a cell, right, and she hatches, right, and so you have eggs in there. But how do you know if she got mated? And so you put a cell in one of those styrofoam nukes. And
well, let me ask you, you know, I've been down to Georgia. You know what them folks do down there? They'll go through there and you got 2 or 3 guys on the same line. And they'll go through and they'll pull their Cajun queens. And then I got a frame of eggs, or not a frame of eggs, but a frame of cat brood. Maybe he's got 2 frames of cat brood. The next one above that doesn't have that, and you want to keep that momentum of the bees in there. So, hey, anybody got a frame of cat brood? Yeah. And he'll take that frame and stick it in the other hive that needs a boost of bees.
But that's not these new. It's not the styrofoam nukes. That's not the little tiny ones.
Yeah, the styrofoam nukes, they have 4 frames in them that probably equal up to a super frame, a medium super frame.
Yeah, and that's a problem. Once they get built out, right, and then you pinch you harvest the queen, right? She's good laying, and then you put another cell in there. It's full. You like this, like.
So yeah, what you're saying, I thought about too, because I want to go off strong next year with the queen rearing, and I saw it was a guy out in California. I forget what his name is. He's a YouTuber. He moved to Tennessee. If anybody knows who that is, he was doing the same thing with the styrofoam nukes, and he was churning in and burning. Like as soon as the queens were mated, he's putting another one in. But his problem that he said was queens were getting off schedule, and then it started becoming chaos because then one box would be a virgin, next box would be a mated queen, another box would be queen absconded, and when you have 200 of those, it's hard to keep track of all that.
And it's really, and Dave, I think it's really hard with that, right? So if you pull a queen that's laying, she's laying eggs right there. So she just laid an egg, right? And you pull her, and you put a virgin in there. You don't know if that virgin laid that egg, or if it was the queen that you pulled that laid that egg.
If you put a hatched virgin, how I think about that, if you put a hatched virgin in there, by the time she gets herself up and running, you probably shouldn't see any eggs, and they probably cap over what brood was already there before she gets it going.
That's right.
Yes.
That's exactly right. That virgin won't be laying any eggs.
But 1 second though. So if she laid every single cell up in that little 4-frame nuke,
the new virgin she wouldn't have any place to lay once she gets ready.
Exactly.
So I thought about that too, and I was thinking of not deploying all of my mating nooks and just using half of them, and then keeping the other half ready. And so, like, how I thought about it is I deploy depending on how much I graft and how much it takes, deploying that many and then leaving the rest open. So if I decide to do a second round, I can split those mini mating nooks, take the frames out that are all laid up from the first queens, set some of them in the other boxes that don't have any bees in them yet, and then put new queens into those. So that way they have something to grab onto when you put a new cup of bees in. It'll help them stay so they don't abscond. And then you put a new queen cell or virgin in there.
Can I give you a little bit of advice from that? Because I ran in the same situation, and they will build those little mating nukes out so
Fact.
quickly,
Yes.
and then they're all full of brood. And what do you do with that brood?
So
Right.
that
So that I'm changing my way to get away from those mini nukes and go into 2-frame mating boxes, deep
so you can
They're
use them
just
in
as bad.
2-frame deep mating boxes.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
go
they're just as bad.
Or 3. Well, you can do 3-frame then.
That's why we run 5-frame.
But 5-frame is too big, I think.
No, it's just right, because that way when she comes back from being mated, it gives her a chance to get situated, and you've got empty comb in there, and she lays that comb up, and you can see her complete laying pattern.
All right, I disagree, but that's just my opinion, Bill.
Yeah,
I like 2-frame mating nukes.
I got 2 frames. I got 30 of them, and if I had to do it all over again, I'd go at least 3.
I would go at least 3, not 5. I would go with 3, not 5.
But now something that Mark Miller was talking about, and it's basically a timing box build, you might say, where if you took a 5-frame box and you have 2 frames, and in the center is 2 vertical queen excluders.
Yeah, that Bob Binney does that. Yep.
Where you put the queen on that empty comb. Let's say and we were talking about it, Mark was, put her in there, put her in a cage with just maybe a day's worth of candy. Within so many hours, it could be ate out. And she comes out because she will, and it's a 7-day-old queen, so she's ready to fly. So she could come out on that comb. The worker bees can go through the queen excluder and feed her or whatever, and then she can go out and get mated, and she only comes back in. The way the hive's set up is the bees can only go into where the segregated comb is between the queen excluders, and then they can go outside if they want to store honey or something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
And that way you don't have to you can find her. She's just on that comb unless she's on the wall.
Yeah.
And he was talking about another nuance is that if you pull that comb out with her brood on it, put an empty back in, and then put a new virgin back in, she will be more accepted because there's no brood for those bees to work. They consider themselves completely, absolutely queenless because of that. Nicot, I started to do that, Uncle, but I'll tell you, grafting is not that hard like a lot of people want you to think. Once you learn how to graft, and I can teach you in about, I went down to classes in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Kent Williams taught me how to graft in about 5 or 10 minutes. I said, is this or all is to it? He says, yep, that's it.
It is it's very easy.
It's not that, everybody talks about seeing and all. And I'm like, well, you old guys need to do one thing, go to the eye doctor and get some glasses.
Yeah, you know what, Charlie? I can back you up on that. And the biggest,
well, it's like myself. I got these glasses right here. Now these are my everyday glasses, okay, that have bifocals on them.
Yeah.
Now, these are like reader glasses. I put the readers on and put my magnification unit on. I see fine. You just have to figure out the depth or perception field. I had one guy down there at Bill's place, and he had like a loop or something on. I forget what it was, but he had the comb like within 2 inches of his eyes, and I'm like, you can't do it that way.
Yeah, and you know what, Corey? He tells us over and over and over again. It's almost the one that you can't see. You don't want to graft from the larva that is a C. You want to graft from the larva. It's a comma. It's a comma. And you want to lift it from behind the back.
Yeah. But the best thing is I
Is that
tell
Jason?
that's Jason.
Jason. Yep.
But it's good to see you, Jason. The main thing is that I tell people is, they'll say about timing the larvae if you don't have a timing box, which most people don't use it, is that you go in there with your normal glasses on, if you wear glasses, and you pick up a frame of open larvae out of the brood nest. If
Yeah.
you can look down in them holes and see royal jelly, but you can't see anything floating on the royal jelly, if you do see something, it might be just a minute speck. That's the one that you want to graft from. The one that you can't see is the one that when you put your magnification unit on, you can see it then, and that's the right age.
Yep.
And
Or
like
if you have a real bright light, flashlight, and you shine it down that frame,
Yes.
when you hit the right age larva, it looks like 3 or 4 little pearls laying in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I used a LED headlamp that had it was LED and warm light, and when I switched it to the LED like white light, it shined up those eggs or those larvae, and that like the same thing you said, the 3 pearls. So that's what when I did my grafting, I shot for that, but then I tested it with a couple of them that were a little bit bigger, and I think that's where one of my eggs in the incubator hatched out a day earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Than all the rest of them did.
Yep.
And so you know what, Dave? It's so cool though. And if you have an incubator, it is so cool. Like I get excited when it gets around the days with their hatch. You look in there every single day and like, oh my
God. It was
God.
like every half hour for me. I was like, man, when are they going to hatch out?
Yeah, like who hatched?
Who
hatched? And like, holy shit, somebody hatched.
Yeah, when the first one hatched out, I was like, oh, they're a day early. I'm like, oh, I got my days way off. And I was like, I kept going back every half hour. And then after her, like I took care of her, I took her out and put her in a box.
Yeah. And you know what? You get better and better at it. And you learn how to dial it in. And you're like, okay, well, I can pick this cell and I know she's gonna hatch in 3 days. I'm gonna land that into a a queenless nuke, and I know she's gonna hatch.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing if you can do that. That's why Charlie and I use the easy peasy cages. When they cap those cells, we slip that cage up around them, and then they hatch right there in the cell builder, and they get taken care of immediately.
Yeah, and it's so cool though, but it's experience, right? Like, so if you're hatching queens in an incubator, it is a controlled environment, but you just learn the days, how many days it takes to take.
Yeah, you do. But if you happen to be gone, and they hatch, if they're not fed within 2 or 3 hours, you come back, you got dead queens.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a learning experience. Like,
hey, here's what here, Doug up in Saskatchewan. There, he's kind of doing the same thing what we're doing. He's putting cages around there, and he can bank them. And that's what I did with the easy peasy cages. You can, it's made to fit that NICOT, not NICOT, but JZBZ cup. Snaps right into that cage. It won't fall out or anything. And then he's got them where you can put them in there and they'll hatch out and they'll get fed. But if you've got, mating boxes already set up, ready to go to receive a cell. Yeah. Go ahead and put it in there. Move the cell and put the cell in there. And that was the problem I had. I didn't have my cages. I wasn't prepared. And that's the thing, now it's like, I know what I need to do to get things set up. I know that you don't set the cell builder up today and use it today. You set the cell builder up a week, 2 weeks in advance. And then, it's a process. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that, you don't hear nobody try to teach that at all.
No,
the only thing when they say queen rearing, all they're going to teach you is, we're going to show you how to graft. There's more to it than that.
Yeah, you got to learn to set a cell builder up.
Yep.
I watched Bob Benny's video on that like 4 times the week before I went to go attempt grafting.
Yeah.
Now,
Just to
see,
try
with
to-
me, I like a queenless cell builder. So
That's
I
how
go
I do
around
it.
all them hives of mine and I'll harvest. I got brood brought up from the bottom. Queen is down in the bottom, queen excluder, and that brood will bring them nurse bees up to cover that brood up. I can pick the whole frame up. I know there's no queen there. Don't have to look for it.
Yep.
You can do that with a nuke. I got nuke queen excluders. Pull your brood off, shake the bees off, put it in the top box, put the queen excluder on, put the box back up on top, come back the next day, or if you really want to, within an hour, and the thing will be full of bees. You know, the queen's downstairs, and now you got brood for a cell builder right away.
But 1 second, Charlie. If you do that right, you need to put a spacer in there, right? So
Spacer for what?
so the bees can't switch the pheromone because the bottom underneath
No,
that.
he's talking about just getting bees to come up to set your cell builder up so you don't have to pull frames up there and shake them. You're putting that queen excluder over top of the queen,
Correct.
and you're putting some brood up top to draw those nurse bees up.
Yeah. So
Then once you get enough up there, you pull that box off, put your double screen board on, and set it back on top. Now
that's
you've got a queenless cell builder.
what I did. I put a double screen board in there. Yep. Yeah. Exactly right.
What I'm trying to do is this. You don't need to waste time trying to hunt for the queen.
Correct.
So you bring up, let's say, a frame of cat brood, and you look both sides. No, I don't see the queen at all. You shake the bees off real gentle like. Put that over here in a box. So you go, let's say you get 5 frames like that. Then all right, there's no bees on it. You just got cat brood. And then you put your queen excluder on top of that nuke box. Then put that box up on top of that and close it up. Them nurse bees smell that brood upstairs. They all go through the queen excluder, cover all that brood up because they want it to hatch. So you come back an hour or maybe the next day, you got a box full of bees here with brood, and you don't have to look for the queen because you know she's not in there.
Yep.
And you can take that off, sit that on a bottom board, and you get, let's say you get 2 of them. I'm doing medium, so I'm going to get 2 of them. You might just do deep. You get 1. And you got a box full of bees, and in 7 days or more, you're going to have a box of a lot of bees in there because they're going to be hatching out. And now you got yourself a queenless cell builder. And then you just keep putting in a frame or 2 of cat brood in there with bees, and they will never go laying worker on you because of the brood smell.
Yep.
Yep.
Or you can do like you said, Jack. You get the bees upstairs like that, above that bottom queen down there, pull the queen excluder out and put the double screen board in. Put the box back up on top. Now your pheromones won't mix.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Now, will that work as far as making queen cells, Bill? I think it will, won't it?
Yeah, it'll work. That's what we did.
It
That's
did.
what I taught that class.
It did. Yep. That's exactly what I did. And I think I had like 80%.
Yeah,
return.
except we set the cell builder up the day before we grafted.
Yeah.
I had the population of nurse bees down there that were on the brood, and then I dumped 2 queenless packages in there, 3-pound packages. I put an additional 6 pounds of bees in there.
Yeah. Yep. It works. It works.
Yeah. And everybody says, oh, the older bees won't take care of the queen cells. They won't make royal jelly. They won't take care of the brood. Yeah, they will. They'll revert right back to nurse bees and take care of them.
And Bill, you know what is really cool about when you graft like that? So you'll know in 24 hours if your graft has been accepted.
Yeah, you're right. They will.
So you'll know right away if
Yeah.
it's success or not.
Because they won't draw that cell out.
Correct. Yep. They won't touch it if they don't like
Yeah.
it.
Once they start drawing that cell, you know it's been accepted.
Yep. Yeah. So it's immediate. It's pretty much immediate results.
Yeah.
It's really cool, you know, and you don't have to be like you could just try it. You don't have to be an advanced beekeeper to do this.
No, you don't.
It's very, very easy. And I encourage everybody to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Make your own queens. Like we got to get away from ordering all these queens from Georgia and stuff like that. We need to be making our own native queens.
But the key to making queens is finding a breeder or a queen of yours that has genetics that you like.
Correct.
And if you can't find the genetics that you like, you've got to experiment around to find a queen that has genetics that you like. Once you find that, then you can graft from that queen.
Yeah. And your bees will make the best queens ever.
Yep, they will.
So I did, since all my 4 hives were all first years, like all packages. I just took the one that came out the strongest, and like she was wall to walling every frame. I was like, all right, I like that. That's cool. So I picked her.
Was she a combi? Not a stingy type hive.
None of my hives are.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say that. One of them has gotten testy. It's not like I'll walk over there and they'll come at me, but when I pop the lid, they're headhunters. You'll have like 10 of them flying around your head. It's just one hive that's doing that. But
bouncing off.
Yeah, they're bouncing off the veil and all that, and yeah, like all the queens that I had. Well, 6 of the 10 queens that I have are progeny of her, and I think I inherited wild genes because
yep.
When I know I did, but when I started, none of the brood was being uncapped. Those 4 queens, I got them from Man Lake. They were carnies from Man Lake.
Mm-hmm.
None of them would uncap cells or anything. They would just be walls of brood. When I hatched those queens out and got them mated and put them into their own hives and they started brooding up, I started noticing uncapping on a lot of the cells. Not a lot of them, but you would see it like sporadic all over, and you would see the face of the bee that was in the cell, and then you would go back and then it would look like it was capped back over the next week.
You know why they do that, right?
As a hygiene.
Yeah, it's a way to stop the mite from breeding.
Yeah, so that's what went through my mind. I was like, did I stumble upon a VHS gene line that's out there?
Yeah, a lot of your wild bees have that gene line already because that's how they deal with the mites in the wild. Your feral bees, that's how they deal with the mites.
Well, the other thing I can say with that is I've seen some videos here this summer where it looks like it's like a drone where they're starting to raise that cocoon or cone or capping up a little higher and recap or whatever. But these were 2 hives that I didn't get treated quick enough, and I figured they were overrun by mites, and that's when I hit them with Apricard and stuff. So I don't know whether what I saw was a trait, is what I'm getting at.
So Dave, I got a question. Did you buy queens from Man Lake or you buy packages from Man Lake?
I bought 4 packages.
You bought packages, and so these are the packages that you're asking about?
Well, I have 2 of the original queens left, but those are the ones that I started with, and none of them showed like the VHS trait or the uncapping of cells. If that's what you're talking about.
So I'm wondering. So that was year 1. This is year 2.
No, this is still year 1. I mean, this is still less than a year.
Oh, so you still have the original queens. So you have everything original that you bought from Man Lake right now.
I have 2. One swarmed on me, and the other one, when I was in the process of doing the grafts, I put her in a queen clip because I was doing the Bob Benny thing where you flip the top box, put it on the bottom.
Yes.
She got out. I don't know where she went. I got done messing with the boxes and all that, and when I put the box back on top and I looked at the queen cage, she was gone.
So So you're going into winter with how many hives? You bought 4? Was that right?
Right now, 9.5.
So you bought 9 or
I
you
bought
bought
4.
10?
I bought 4 in April, or 4 in March.
You bought 4 in March from Man Lake, and then you're going into winter with, it should be 10, but it's
Should
9.
be 10. Yeah, 9. I don't think it's gonna, or 10. I don't think it's gonna make it. But I know
Well,
9. 9 are looking good.
Do you know where those original queens are?
Where they are, like which hives they're in? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So they made daughters, and are all those bees nasty?
No, none of them.
Okay.
My bees were super calm.
Well,
This year I've only been stung 3 times.
only 2 of them are nasty.
One is testy. Like they just
That's
come out.
one that when you grafted off of her and she went and got mated.
So yeah, it's one of her daughters. Her progeny. That because 6 of them are all from the same queen. Like they're all daughters of that queen that I lost. The one that was she just up and left the queen clip.
Yep.
So 6 of her daughters are. 5 of them are good. One of them is testy, but only when you mess with the hive. They won't come at you if you walk by it. But if you start popping the lid, they'll start bouncing off the veil.
So does anyone in your area raise Russians?
I don't know who the nearest beekeeper is near me, to be honest.
Because that would be interesting to know, because Russians, their sperm will fight to be the first to fertilize an egg. And
I agree with that.
Russian attitude is testy.
Right.
They'll come after you.
So yeah, out of the 3 hives, or the 3 times I've been stung this year, twice of them have been from that one hive.
Yeah, it's
Dave,
she probably got into some Russian drones somewhere, or it was somebody in your area. Their Russians swarmed, and she got in with those drones, mated, and of course that sperm is going to take over. It's not going to kill any of the other sperm. It's just going to take over.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave, I got a question though. So what's the weight on these guys? Going into winter, are they lighter than all the other hives?
No. I actually how do I say it? See, on my I have a YouTube channel and I YouTube all this.
Okay.
The newer hives, which were my June splits, they're actually pretty heavy. Remember I was saying earlier when I lifted a whole hive up?
Yeah.
That was one of them. They were super heavy. Now, my 10th hive, the one that I said I don't think is going to make it through the winter, was one of the original queens, one of the Man Lake queens.
And that's the nasty one, the light one?
No, that's the one they died off. I don't know what happened. It's when I went and checked them, her bee population died off quick. I don't know what happened with that. She didn't swarm,
She's probably run out of sperm.
She's probably dud.
She was probably an older queen.
Probably dud.
Yep. Or she wasn't well mated because it was too soon in the year.
Yeah.
So she didn't get well mated.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, where I'm going with that is that the reason that I'm thinking that I see with my bees is there's always one hive that's ornery, and the reason why that they're pissed off is because they're light and they're fighting for the food, and if they're just getting picked on, or they're light going into winter. For some reason, they're just light.
Yeah, I was when I was watching videos and reading up on things, I was under the impression that a lot of the more testier bees would be a lot more heavier in honey and stores because they'll fight. Whereas your more calm bees won't be as proficient honey gatherers. I could be wrong about that, but that's what that was the consensus I was getting from a lot of different people.
I'm just talking about myself. I disagree with that completely. I think my heavy hives are gentle. Right. The weaker ones, they do get attacked, and that's why I was just wondering if maybe this one solo hive that you are getting stung on is just defending itself so much that it's just getting attacked.
Yeah, it's that one. It's definitely a night and day difference because I used to be able to go over there. I didn't use smoke at all on the other 9. That one, I have to use smoke to calm them down a little bit. If not, not the whole hive comes out, but like enough of them come out and they start bouncing everywhere. But it's not like I'm getting swamped and they follow me to the house. It's just the second I step away from the hive, they're done.
Yeah, Jason's asking where you're at in Maryland.
Same area.
St. Mary's County.
Yeah, down in Clements intersection, if y'all know where that's at. Near Leonardtown, if that's helpful.
Leonardtown, I've been there.
Yeah, Jason's a good guy, man. Maybe you guys can hook up and talk.
Jason's up on Eastern Shore.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, shit, man. You know what, Dave, man? If this is your first year and you're going into winter with 10 hives, hey, man, hats off, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, I did a lot of research, and plus, like my father and his friend.
Right there's the key to successful beekeeping.
You know what? Oh man, I'm just laughing. You know what? Like you go into winter with 10 hives or even 9, you're gonna you come out with 8. Be prepared, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out with a headache, and I'm gonna be swamped with bees.
You're gonna have 15 to 20 by May.
Yeah, so I went and purchased. There's a guy down in. He's a little bit. He's south of Richmond. I forget who it is. It's like a wholesaler guy who does. He just wholesales out like beehive equipment and all that. Older fella. He sells them out of like an old sawmill or something. And I went down there and I bought 30 deeps from him and the frames for it and all that. So I'm hoping to be. I'm hoping I didn't jinx myself, but I'm hoping to have enough to be good for the beginning of spring.
Yeah, and you know what I'd say, like Charlie and Bill, you agree with this, and Dave and Jason, everybody that's in the chat. Yeah, always, you know, having bee equipment on the side, old frames, like drawn out comb, everything, and it's like, oh my God, it's so valuable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the biggest, I get, it's like these other chats that I'm in. Most of them are beginners, and just like tonight, we were talking to one guy, and I said, take that vaporizer and vaporize that hive. And look at the drops, Well, he had enough notice where, you always get that line of where the cappings are, where your bees are at by the chloroplast. Well, instead of it being cappings, it's a line of mites.
Oh my God.
I'm like, buddy, you're ate up with mites, and he started late. He didn't know. And what I'm getting about here, like with Dave here, his number one thing, he researched. And that's where he's at.
Yep.
And that's what it takes.
Absolutely.
And I told that guy, I said, we were talking about different, I said, he did Roxanne. He said he found out that's a maintainer, knockdown product, the hard way. And I'm like, you got to look at AprilGuard, you got to look at Formic Pro and stuff like that. And well, how do you do this? I says, look, that's your homework. You take each product and you go to their website and wherever else, my website or whoever maybe makes a video about it, on how to apply it.
Yep.
And research that product and know all the ins and the outs about it and talk to people about it.
Yeah.
I talked to people about it for a year or more about AprilGuard. Now I feel confident with it because I have experience with it. But this guy, I said, that's the problem with all the beekeepers. And then one girl was on there. She's in my club, well, she does this and she does that and she only does OA. And I'm like, yeah. I says, I'm a honey producer. You're not. You're just a beekeeper or a bee haver, i.e. the fact that she has long hives and she just likes having bees. And she tries to keep them alive. She does well. She's been at it for quite a while. She knows. But it's the type of beekeeping you want to do.
Yeah.
Jack, you're a pollination. You're in the pollination. Them bees better be alive or you ain't gonna make no money.
Exactly. You know what, Charlie? I got to come out of winter with 20 hives ready and roaring in April. You
That's what
know,
I'm saying.
it's a big
It's
deal.
like
You
with
know.
me, I want 18 hives that I can demery
Yeah.
throughout the summertime and make 1,200 to 1,500 pounds of honey.
Yeah, yeah, it's different for everybody, right? But the basics is all the same. You know, keep
As
your
far as
bees
keeping them alive and all, and but you've got to do your homework.
Yep, and beekeeping in the Northeast versus the South versus Canada, like it's all different. So you need to talk to people who are in your area, how they keep their bees alive in the winter, and their mite treatments. How many mite treatments they do a year,
Well,
and
how many different products they use. It's not so much. It's like
correct,
I do mite treatments throughout the wintertime with OA because I
correct.
call that a winter treatment. But I use ApriGuard and I use Formic Pro
Yep.
and all that. And I hammer them mites down low. I mean, I got this from the horse's mouth, good old Sammy Ramsey, back before he became a PhD.
Yeah, and you know
He
what,
got
Charlie, you know what? I know you guys last year everything. A lot of people were talking with Ian and stuff like about uh
ApriGuard.
no the super what was the ape oh my god, I got it in my freezer right now. I feed my bees every single time I feed them. The appa no, what is that stuff from oh my god, hold on one second.
Super DFM.
Avatar? Did they say that already?
The Apis, the Apis biologics. Yeah,
Yeah. Super rocket fuel.
yeah, the rocket fuel, and I don't know if that becomes like a normal thing with everybody, but I don't hear anyone talking about that anymore. But I feed my bees religiously with um, with the Apis biologics.
I don't know. I like it. I feel it works. I've seen it work. The last couple of years, I've not had my experience I had 3 years ago, but it was due to queens. I've been learning, you might say, the hard way about queens. I've gotten to the point where if you want your hive to be up and running and ramped up and everything else, you need young queens in there. And I was just watching somebody here a video, and he said it in a different term. He said after the second spring buildup is how he pronounced it.
Yeah,
You know, once that queen has went through a second year of spring buildup, getting ready for the honey season, and she's laid the eggs, she's done. She needs to be replaced.
That sounds like something Bob Benning said. I've heard him say that.
It wasn't him saying it was somebody else there out there. Now
and
my thing is I do the rolling demery, which that means I'm forcing her to lay as many eggs as possible. The first, let's say she's a brand new queen, the first year out, she needs to get replaced the next spring.
yeah,
You're replacing queens every year.
Yeah, because in the meantime, a year or so ago, I was watching as a conference. I was at Southern Maryland conference, or not Southern Maryland, but Maryland State Conference. And he had a PhD from Texas, and she said, she had a thing about all the different things that she had too much information, really, was what she had. But the one thing about queens was that they experimentally found that after the first year, the queen lays 40% less eggs in the second year. That's huge.
Yep.
And if I make her push it out as hard as she can go the first year, she's probably 50% or 60% off of her laying power the next year. So for me, and that was another thing, it kind of tells you, oh, is that why those commercial guys do what they do? They make sure that they get a fresh queen in there every year because they want as much money out of that hive they could possibly get out of that hive.
yeah, that's a whole different. Yeah, yep, you're exactly right, Charlie. So the moral of the story is to requeen as often as you can, and if you don't have to buy queens and you can
Make them.
make them yourself and be self-sustaining, there you go. And I heard from somebody, Bob had somebody on his channel. I forget what it was. I don't know if it was Greg or somebody, but
Did
they're
you?
like, don't
Right.
requeen your whole operation.
Yeah, now Doug
Requeen
here has
half
said that
of
too.
half of your operation at a time, in case it fails.
Now, let's talk about that requeening every year. How many in here has heard, oh, I'm selling spring nukes, right?
Yeah,
Where'd they get the queen at?
exactly.
Came out of that production hive, didn't it?
The old queen.
The old queen.
Yep.
Boot her ass out the door, get $200 out of her, buy a new one for 40, put her in that hive that she just got out of. And now you got a fresh girl in there that's going to make you money.
And got $250 in the pocket.
And you got $250 in your pocket. Well, $200.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Depending on who you're getting it from. I'd say them ranging all around that.
Well, you can sell them. You know, that's the thing. Is it a overwinter queen from the spring, or was it an overwinter queen from June? Big difference.
Yeah, Brian said our overwinter queens make more honey than our new queens. That could be right for 1 year, for one overwintered queen.
Yeah.
Not two overwintered queens. Not a second year.
Now you got to look at the definition of an overwinter queen. Just like I said, is this a
Yes,
fresh queen in the
There you go.
spring, or is this a queen that you made in June?
You know what, Charlie? That it's Bob said it perfectly. He's not. You don't call it an overwintered queen. You call it a gone through a spring laying queen, right?
Whatever you want. You can
So-
call it any way you want.
So,
Bottom line of it is that queen that's made it in June. She didn't go through a spring build up.
a spring buildup. There you go. That's the word.
She
Yes.
didn't go through a spring buildup, so she hasn't laid much.
So
she's
she's just as healthy as a 2020. So if you have a 2025 winter queen, or like after the spring 2025 queen, yeah,
Mhm.
versus a 2027 new queen, they should just be about the same. But the 2025 overwintered queen is more likely to swarm in the spring versus the 2020.
Well, that's where the beekeeper comes in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's where you pull that brood out of there and make that split, and give them open comb if you got the open comb to give her, and she will never swarm as long as she has a place to live or lay. They will not swarm.
yeah.
Yep.
That's the key to swarm prevention. They'll say make a split. Well, what are you really doing? You're pulling the cap brood out and putting in empty.
Yeah.
And you put the queen back in. You can leave her back in there. Well, she continues on because she's got a place to lay.
Hey, you know what, Charlie? You know what the answer is? I have built swarm boxes.
No, the answer is a rolling memory. I'm going to do a vertical split instead of a horizontal split.
Yes.
That's
I do
the
that.
difference.
I do that too, and it really, really works. But it's really hard to manage a bunch of rolling demeries. It's good. It's easy to do a couple of them, but oh man, once you do a bunch, it gets out of control.
You got to manage all the queen cells that may pop up or check every frame.
Holy crap, man! Yes, yeah.
You got a management. You can make splits.
Yeah.
Now, Brian
Isn't it-
there, Cajun Homestead, he said about, none of hymns go through the spring. Well, now Brian is in a different location. We're in the mid-Atlantic. Brian's down there in the deep south. Well, he's got to requeen every fall because his queens won't last. because they laid 20. Laid 20 or 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
You ain't got no winter down there.
Hey, you know what I see? Brian over there is so the Damarie is not about making more honey. It's about swarm prevention.
I don't have a problem with swarm prevention. I know how to do that. And like Jason said, bee math is like chicken math, and it really is. And I never thought about it until I watched the backyard beekeepers, and I found out when you raise chickens, you get rid of your laying hens every 2 years. Why? Because they stop laying eggs.
There you go.
Proficiently.
Bingo.
And that's the same thing with bees. And I guess quails, Brian's saying quails must do the same thing. The young quail, young chicken, she lays dozens of eggs constantly. As soon as she's after 2 years, she slows down to a little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that myself until I was watching some of these guys that do chickens and all that. And I said, oh, is that why you do that? Well, that's why the darn commercial beekeepers do what they do.
Yeah. So
they just never talked about it. Or they won't talk about it.
Practice grafting and mite control and
main thing it is if you can get them cells capped and you can get them queens hatched, the main thing and get them mated. That's the big thing. If I can have 20 mated queens out there and I can pull my old queen out in a nuke, sell her, let that hive sit there for 7 days. Go back there and cut out every darn queen cell that you can, shake the bees off, cut them all out. Put that new mated queen in there. She's up and running. She'll be accepted.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, I think you're on a good path, man. And I think you're going to be in a very good problem area next year.
Yeah, I'll have too many bees in there. There'll be all my hives will end up in somebody else's house. That's probably what's going to happen.
Oh, don't do that. Just keep pulling that brood out and keep putting either foundation in, let them build that up, or
yeah,
or
I got plenty of things.
And then you'll be up
how many production hives I want to do next year. Oh, what's that?
Then you'll be up to 30 or 40 hives next year.
Probably.
Do some artificial swarms. Pull that queen out that's on the brood. Put her in a new box. Leave them queenless with a queen cell. There you go.
I mean, I plan on doing some splits, but I do want to get some production hives because I at least want to get some honey. I haven't tasted a drop of honey this year, and I don't plan on it. I'll jinx myself.
Well, you got 10 framers, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got medium for honey supers?
I do, but I let them. They didn't get to drawing those out. They
I've
only drew out
seen that in some of your hives. You take and push them bees down in that single brood chamber management, with a rolling Damarie.
Right.
If you put a deep queen excluder, queens downstairs, queen excluder, let's say one medium honey super, and put that other deep upstairs where you bring all that cap brood, and that was another thing. You can do a regular Damarie where you bring everything upstairs and leave her down there with maybe a couple frames of brood and food. And then she can just lay up a storm down there. You can do it that way. I do it to where I bring up all the cap brood upstairs, leave everything downstairs, and the cap brood will draw the nurse bees up through the honey super into that top box. And and because if she's a fresh, that's another thing I noticed this year. The first year, she'll lay every hole that she can find in that brood chamber in the bottom. Second year, she's slowed up 40-50%. She's left too many holes open, and they'll start storing honey down in that single brood chamber area. And they won't. The other way, the original way, it forced them to put everything up into them supers and to draw things out.
Yeah.
Then you take her bee force and it puts them up top, so it kind of lessens what's down there in the bottom. I'm guessing, so that kind of keeps them from swarming. 'Cause
Well,
most
if she's got every hole down in the bottom laid up with an egg, they can't put no honey there, so
Right.
they have to put it
Right,
upstairs.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
They
I do
have
the
to.
same thing, Charlie, and I call them the 1.5s. So it's a deep brood chamber with a medium on top, and that's how I run it. And, in the springtime, you pull all that brood up top, throw her downstairs, maybe with one frame of brood, and bring everything up top that a queen excluder. Put a medium up there, and she's that's the way to go. And I'm
The only
totally.
problem of it is you got to watch for queen cells when you do it that way. You got to.
I haven't had that problem.
No.
But yeah, we're talking about the same thing. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
There's a couple different ways to do the demery.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not talking about Demery. I'm just talking about single brood.
Chamber.
Yeah, the way single brood management. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Because you're going to come in the springtime and she's going to start laying up like crazy, and they're going to want to swarm right away.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to do. Some was my dad. He said I think I got him back into it. He was just too late, and I think he wants some hives back up at his house. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do some splits of some horizontal splits and send them up there to him. And I wanted to keep some as productions, and I didn't get my bees didn't draw out so enough to be able to do a demery this year. Plus, it was kind of late. They didn't get a spring build up. They showed up in the spring, and so I just like, okay, I'm going to let them all build out what they can, and they're going to keep everything that they got. And I'm thinking next year I may do a couple with the demery, but I'm not too sure how many I'm going to need for the queen production. If I'm going to need 2 or 3 hives for that, so that there would just take 2 or 3 hives out of whatever I have going into next year.
I think
So
you should only need one hive for queen production.
Yeah, it's it's one to do the queen the brain fart.
Yeah, for the
queen, for
crafting.
the grafting and all that.
Yep.
The cell builder, and then I was going to have 1, maybe 2 as backups to pull queen or pull bees out to fill all my mini mating nooks up with.
Yeah. Have you seen the Michael Palmer method? What he does with 4x4 or yeah.
I don't think so.
The way
You mean that it's the nukes, the 4
Yeah,
frame
Mike-
nukes,
the brood factories that Michael Palmer does.
egg racing. Yeah, it's the same thing, brood factory wise. I mean, if you do a single chamber brood chamber management, you're making that's a brood factory. I mean, if she's laying that much, you just got to go in there and pull those fully. I mean, if it's corner to corner cap brood, pull that darn thing out of there, and make a split with that, and then put the empty comb back in there, and she won't.
Yeah, if you don't manage a single chamber brood box, they're going to swarm right away.
That's the problem with single brood chamber management. It works, but you have to be on top of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to really be on top of it.
Yep.
Yeah. It works really, really well, but you have to be in there every 5 days in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, you're going to do good, man. You're going to be chasing swarms and building and shit. Like, you're going to be good, man.
I'm hoping. I went to my neighbor when my one hive swarmed in that because he's got a bunch of old barns. And I was like, I think you may have been the recipient of one of my hives. And he goes, oh, I thought you was about to come over here and yell about my beagles being loud. I was like, nah, it's something I probably did. But no, but I could never find where that swarm landed. They're gone.
Yeah. Hey, so can I ask you, what's your winter setup?
Right now they're all in double deeps.
And are you doing a condensing hive? You putting the pink foam on top, and or you wrapping, or what are you doing?
So I got I'll start from the bottom. It's the Aftermay bottom closed with double deeps. I have an inner cover in them. I put Reflectix in on the top above the inner cover.
Yep.
and then I have a telescoping lid on it,
Wait,
and
wait,
they're
hold,
hybrid.
hold on 1 second. So you're putting the inner cover on top of a wooden box?
On
Is
top
it-
of the top deep.
Yeah, on the top deep. You have the wooden inner cover,
Yes.
and you have the opening facing the bottom box, so the bees can come in and out of that. Or
They don't have an opening.
Oh, there's no-
My inner covers don't have openings.
okay, it's a solid. So and then you put Reflectex on top of that,
And then put the inner cover on top of that.
and then put the inner cover. So
I
what
mean,
is?
not the telescoping lid back on top of that.
Yeah, so I have it just confusing me. What is the Reflectex doing on top of the wooden inner cover?
So the wooden inner cover, it's my wooden inner covers, I turned into jar feeders. So they have holes in them, big holes in them.
Okay.
Because I used to use jar feeders and then put another super on top to cover the jars up.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got the frame feeders, so I went away with those, but I still keep the inner cover in there, and I just put the Reflectix on top, so that way there's a couple air layer there in the top.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, so why don't you put the Reflectex right on top of the frames, and then the wooden covering on top of
Because
that?
when you have that air gap, Jack, it adds R value.
Okay.
So yeah, I've missed one part. I do have a feeder shim that I put in there because I wanted to give them a chance to try and propolize that down, because I do
Yes.
plan on putting Hive Alive in there, and then it's the feeder shim and then the inner cover, then the Reflectix, then the telescoping lid.
That's what I do too. So I got the boxes, and then I put a 1 inch shim or 1.5 inch, whatever you want to call it. That's where I put my fondant on there, and then I put the Reflectex on top of that, and then I put the pink foam, and then I put the outer cover on there.
Yeah, and I also
Yeah.
I bought
Thank you.
the maybe Hives wraps. They come. It's like $50 for two.
Yeah,
And they got like the aluminum wrapping with cloth in the middle of them, and the black fabric outer layer. I'm gonna give them a shot. All the hives are covered in those, so they're wrapped, and that's what I'm gonna go with into the winter.
I think you'll be fine as long as you check them a couple times in the winter time and make sure that they don't have any they still have fondant left, sugar bricks, fondant, whatever you want to call it. I think you'll be fine, man. I think the scariest part is March. March is the scariest part for us, Charlie, right? Don't you think?
What's that?
March is a scary month.
Well, it's weather's up and down, and you got to figure out whether or not your bees are going to make it without having the food. How much
March,
food you got in there.
and the reason why I say that is because a lot of bees starve in March because there's nothing coming in and they're empty.
They're brooding up.
They're brooding up.
They're brooding up, and that means they're increasing their food consumption.
Yep. And winter, they went in really heavy in winter, and you're really, really in really good shape. And March comes, and yeah, that's the. I think that's a scary time.
Yeah, so I got enough, like I think they're 1 pounder Hive Alive fondants. It's with the 2.2 kilos, or it's 1 pound. I think it's a 1 pounder one. I got 30 of those that I plan on giving them, and then I have a couple 5 pounder fondants that are coming in, and those are going to be my my spring fondants that I'm going to dump on them, so I know they have enough food. Whoever makes it.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Jimmy.
I saw Dina in the chat said, "Watch out for small hive beetles." I have probably seen 10 small hive beetles all this year, and they all were dead in my bottom boards from the diatomaceous earth.
Yeah.
I do not see that many small hive beetles where I'm at.
Hey, Brian.
Luckily, yet.
Yeah. And Dave, if your hives are not in a shady area or a swampy area,
They're in the shade. They're it's kind of shady, but the sun will be kind of beaming on them all day. Not beaming on them, but it's like half sun, half shade.
Yeah, you shouldn't have an issue with small hive beetles. You know what? I hope for you that you're gonna have a problem that you have too many bees in this fucking spring, man.
I hope they do.
The biggest problem he has is he's probably got sandy ground down there.
Yep.
Where they?
And I'm gonna say hi to Jimmy. And Jimmy, Dave lives in Southern Maryland, around what was it, Anne Arundel or
Leonardtown.
Leonard, St. Mary's County.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy, he lives down around Richmond area, south of Richmond, I think. All that. So, well, guys, it's a little after 10, and I'm going to go ahead and shut the chat down and all that stuff. So,
You're gonna hang out in here for a few minutes, Charlie?
yeah, we'll be
Hey,
hanging out
Tom,
there.
come in the green room.
Yeah. Anybody else want to join?
Yeah,
Come on.
anybody else wants to come into the green room, come on in before we leave.
Come on, Jason.
Hi, Donna.
Thanks for stopping by, Jimmy. And anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
we'll catch you all later. We'll see you on Joey's channel tomorrow night.
Come check me out on a Southern Maryland beekeeper. I got a
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Hey,
everybody check out
Welcome,
Dave
Dave.
here. It's a Southern Maryland Beekeepers, what the SOME stands for. And Dave, don't pop out of the. We'll go through this thing, and then you just stay right where you're at.
Stay right where you're at, Dave.
Don't go out of the chat.